Hello and welcome to the PLC Curriculum Preview for the first 6 weeks for 7th grade mathematics.
I am Haley Barron, the Elementary Math Coordinator.
And I am Megan Dixon, the Secondary Math Coordinator. We look forward to working with teachers and instructional leaders throughout the school year.
Please feel free to communicate with us any questions or for additional support. In this video, we will identify curriculum hotspots and provide real-time instructional strategies that will include the math bow tie method at the board and incorporate Fundamental 5 strategies. At the end of this video, teachers will complete the PLC for the Math PLC for the TEKS 7.3b. The we will, I will statements shown are examples of how to frame a lesson as listed in Fundamental 5.
Units covered in the first 6 weeks are Unit 1, Numbers and Operations, and Unit 2, One Variable Equations and Inequalities. Please pause for a moment to review the Unit 1 Local Assessment Blueprint. As you can see, 9 instructional days will be utilized for Unit 1. The district has allowed for 3 days at the beginning of the 6 weeks for beginning of the year procedures. August 28th through September 10th are instructional days for Unit 1. The Unit 1 local assessment will be available for printing purposes on September 9th, and the unit should be assessed on September 11th. Per the local assessment guidelines, teachers are to administer unit assessments within 3 school days upon completion of the unit. Now pause for a moment to review the Unit 2 local assessment blueprint. 14 instructional days will be utilized for Unit 2. September 12th through October 1st are instructional days for Unit 2. The Unit 2 local assessment will be available for printing purposes on September 30th, and the unit should be assessed on October 2nd. Please keep in mind that teachers are to administer these unit assessments within 3 school days upon completion of the unit. For today's PLC purpose, materials teachers will need are the Unit 1 IFD, organizing instruction using the TEKS Standard Types document or Content Builder, the PLC for Math PLC document, and green, yellow, and blue highlighters.
At this time, we will be using organizing instruction using the TEKS Standard Types document. This is part of the what of a PLC. This will help establish a direction. For the purpose of today's PLC curriculum preview, we will be using the Unit 1 IFD, Numbers and Operations. At this time, please read the TEKS listed on pages 15 through 28 of the IFD. As you review the TEKS, highlight in yellow the supporting standards and highlight the readiness standards in green. All remaining standards are process standards and will be highlighted in blue. If necessary, please refer to the organizing instruction using the TEKS Standard Types document to review the description and each standard's role in learning. Take note that the blue process standards will fall into one of 2 basic categories: how students access learning or how students demonstrate learning. Please take a moment to complete this task. Now use the highlighted IFD as a key to place each standard in the corresponding color-coded graphic organizer. Please take a moment to review the placement of each TEKS. Notice for this unit, there is one readiness standard, which is 7.3b.
As part of the PLC process, we identify the what, which is our hotspot for the first 6 weeks. The curriculum preview will target 7.3b. Based on the heat map displayed, please pause and discuss. What does the data tell us about 7.3b? Based on your knowledge from previous or current observations, what are your predictions of students' mastery for the TEKS reference during the 2014-2015 school year? This skill has been targeted as our hotspot because, as you can see, it has shown some increase but still remains an area of concern.
Now let's focus specifically on the hotspot. As you can see, this is a readiness standard. This standard is part of Category 2, Patterns, Relationships, and Algebraic Reasoning, which makes up 24% of the STAR Blueprint assessment. When reviewing the standard, make sure to identify the cognitive level, These are the verbs that define what the students will be able to do. The content level, which is overall concept that students will learn, and in what context it will be taught. Please take a moment to pause the video to look on pages 23 through 25 of the Unit 1 IFD and review the standard and unit level specificity.
The second part of the PLC process is the so what, which addresses the implications and also gives teachers the chance to reflect upon teaching practices. At this time, we will pause for small group purposeful talk to discuss seed questions, both of which are attributes of the fundamental 5. Seed questions are essential to guiding and focusing conversations to the desired learning outcomes. During this time, focus specifically on the previously identified hotspot. The questions for discussion are: what concepts did students learn in the previous grade to prepare them? This can be found in the unit overview of the IFD. Also in the unit overview, look at how the students will use that concept in subsequent grades. Will the way you teach it help prepare students for future learning? In the underdeveloped concepts and misconceptions section of the IFD, what underdeveloped concept plays a role in student success of the targeted skill? Also, what common misconceptions deter students from being successful? From the listed vocabulary, which terminology will play a key role to ensure mastery? And how have you taught this content in the past? How will you teach it differently this year? Please keep in mind that small group purposeful talk about the learning typically lasts between 30 seconds and 3 minutes per question. Please pause the video at this time to allow for discussion.
The Now What piece of the PLC curriculum preview starts with using the PLC for the Math PLC page as a tool for creating lessons. Classroom instruction will move to a higher level of understanding, as well as offer opportunities for students to transfer information. Focusing on our hotspot, 7.3b, take time now to discuss what stimulus could be used to address the learning objective. For today's purpose, we have selected word problem. Let's review the verbs in the SC. Which thinking activity will match the rigor for this level of Bloom's? Now discuss 2 to 5 thinking opportunities for the students to demonstrate how they will process the information. This will occur every 8 to 10 minutes during the whole group instruction. Please pause to complete this task. After reviewing the TEAK hotspot, we have selected 3 thinking strategies: justify the solution, work a simpler problem, and communicate. Now look at the evidence of learning column. Discuss and select an appropriate product that can be used to show evidence of student learning, which matches the rigor of our hotspot TEAK. Questions to think about when selecting the evidence of learning. How will students demonstrate their thinking? How will we know when students have mastered the concept? Once you have selected an end product or evidence of learning, you will use high-yield instructional strategies to support student learning. From the Instructional Strategies column, we will demonstrate the Math Bow Tie Instructional Strategy as well as At the Board, both of which are examples of a cooperative learning structure. This is not an exhaustive list of all instructional strategies. Please feel free to choose other high-yield instructional strategies. The next slides will provide videos demonstrating the bow tie method and At the Board.
Here is an example of students using the bow tie method.
Working in pairs, students situate their desks so that they are facing each other. On chart paper, each pair draws the outline of a bow tie. Teachers can also prepare this in advance and laminate it for future use. The teacher then assigns a word problem for the students to solve. Each student will first work alone on his or her side of the bow tie. After this practice, partners discuss their work. How did you get the answer to the problem and reach a consensus on their answers, teaching each other along the way?
How'd you do that? I subtracted straight down.
Did you borrow because of the force?
Oh, no, I forgot about that. Thank you.
In the center of the bow tie, students write their consensus answer. Another cooperative learning strategy, very similar to the bow tie method, is called At the Board. This short clip will demonstrate this strategy in action inside a Crowley ISD classroom.
Another student-led technique I like to use is called At the Board. I have half the students go up to the board and work their problems. The other half stays at their desk and works on the slides. After they complete their problems, they pair up and discuss their problem-solving techniques and reasoning. This enhances vocabulary and mathematical computation.
So you see left over here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. What do you have? What number do you have?
Benefits of the cooperative learning structures are that after these instructional strategies have been implemented during the whole group instruction time, they can be used as a center activity. This is when students can also begin to compete against each other to build fluency in their computation. These strategies enable teachers to move into facilitative, feedback-giving roles and rove around the room as needed. Standing just about anywhere, teachers can easily hear students' conversations and see their thinking evolve. After working in this format, students are likely to be better prepared to advance to independent work. These methods incorporate working in the power zone, small group purposeful talk about the learning, and opportunities to recognize and reinforce effort from the fundamental 5.
Another integral part of the Now What is intervention. Take time now to discuss the following questions and what they may look like on your campus. How will we provide students with additional time and support in a timely, directive, and systematic way when students experience difficulty? How can we enrich the learning of students who are already proficient?
We appreciate you participating in the PLC Curriculum Preview. When you plan on implementing the bow tie instructional strategy or at the board, please invite us in, as we would love to see classroom implementation. If you have suggestions for future curriculum previews, please submit ideas to megan.dixon@crowley.k12.tx.us. Also, I would like to hear from you if you have an instructional strategy that you would like to showcase in an upcoming video. Finally, please be sure to submit a copy of the PLC for the Math PLC document, as well as the organizing instruction using the TEKS Standard Types document or content builder to the appropriate campus designee. Thank you, and we look forward to serving you this year.